Hi fellow stannies, welcome to my Friday recap where I recap all the shows I watched throughout the week. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're returning, welcome back, grab a snack, and let's get right into it. Starting with Dancing with the Stars, we are at week 7 and it was Halloween night with special guest judge Cheryl Burke. First off, I was absolutely devastated about Elaine. She was hospitalized with a serious rib injury during rehearsal. She posted on her Instagram saying, "I injured my ribs during defying gravity and today they just seized up. I couldn't move. They brought me to the hospital. The good news is the doctor said a day or two of rest and she should be back, so we're wishing her a speedy recovery." I'm just going to talk about everyone in the order they danced. If you want a deep dive into scores and song choices, check out my other video. I'll put the link in the description. Starting with Whitney and Mark. Okay, is it just me or has Whitney been totally out of sync since like dedication night? Seriously, for weeks she's been missing steps, but somehow she's still pulling 9s and 10s. I'm confused. Jordan and Ezra, they were my favorite dance of the night, and I'll go as far as to say the best dance of the night. And the fact that they got 2 8s is criminal. Like, you're telling me Andy's dance was only 1 point less than theirs? Be so for real. And don't give me that it looked like a gymnastics routine. I don't want to hear it. Andy and Emma. Andy, bless your heart. You're performing at a week 3 level on week 7. That's all I'm going to say. Elaine and Alan. Since Elaine was in the hospital, they were judged on their last rehearsal. And let me tell you, even the rehearsal looked amazing. So can you imagine like the actual performance, how it would have looked with the costumes and the set? I don't agree with the all 8 scores, but she wasn't there, so whatever. That made me mad, to be honest. Danielle and Pasha, compared to last week, I feel like they took a step back. Robert and Whitney, he is a pure joy to watch. You can tell he puts 110% into every movement, and he's not just going through the motions, like he's understanding the technique, and their connection is a 10 for me. Jen and Jan, they brang it this week. If you missed it, Max Smirkowski recently spoke out about new pro Jan, saying on his wife Peta's podcast, "I'm sorry, Jan has absolutely no business being a pro in Dancing with the Stars. There's zero foundation, technique, quality, understanding of the partnership." Ugh. Well, I'm sure Jan heard that and was like, oh yeah, and they absolutely brought the fire to their dance tonight. But here's where things got really spicy. After Carrie-Anne gave her critique, which I think was baloney, but whatever, it was Derek's turn and he said, "I have zero time to talk, it's crazy tonight." You can then clearly hear Carrie-Anne say, "What? You have plenty of time to talk." But then it seemed like her mic got cut. Derek paused for like a second and just said, "Okay." I'm sensing some major animosity between these two. I don't know if it's exactly animosity, but something is going on between them. Derek then continued saying, "Jan, I want to tell you that you're doing a fantastic first season. And we can all assume that was a direct clapback to Max's comments." I did agree with Cheryl's comments for Jen and Jan. They need to work on their connection. And this is what I've been saying, like there's a disconnect between them, and if they could just get over that, they would be so good. But all 8s for their dance though, I'm not sure I agree with that. Alex and Val, nothing bad to say. Amazing performance from start to finish. Dylan and Daniela, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Yes, Dylan is gorgeous. Yes, Dylan is a sweetheart, but he is getting overscored every single week. A lot of the time, it's Daniela dancing around Dylan. You have to look when he dances alone. He looks kind of awkward. What makes it work though is their incredible connection. Then we had the dance monster-thon for bonus points. Whitney and Mark were declared the winners. And I know I'm not the only one who thinks this was absolute insanity. Did you see the tricks Jordan and Ezra were pulling out? Also, how funny was it when Alfonso had to walk up to the judges table because they couldn't pick a winner? And he was like, "Who's the winner? You must decide." And that whole throne thing was just weird. Derek posted this video to his Instagram story.
That was crazy. That was a deadlock. So Carrie-Anne and I, we wanted Alex and Val to win that dance. And then Bruno and Cheryl wanted Mark and Whitney. And it was a deadlock. And so that's why we did score in time, and I just like, go for it. That's what it was. So that was wild. Congrats to them. Everybody tonight. It was an incredible night.
So apparently Derek and Carrie-Anne picked Alex and Val, while Bruno and Cheryl picked Whitney and Mark. Side note, I don't know how I felt about Cheryl as a judge. The vibe was off. I didn't get a good vibe from her. I don't know how to explain it. I did like that she gave specific technical advice, but I still feel like she underscored everyone. And ultimately, Jen and Jan were sent home. I'm sorry, but what is going on? Maybe Hilaria was right. Is there a conspiracy? Seriously, how is Andy still there? If there is a conspiracy though, and people are like voting for Andy out of spite or as a joke, I don't know. Just remember, his wife probably has to draw him an Epsom salt bath every night. And he's probably soaking in the tub thinking, oh my gosh, I have to do this for another week. So think about that. Apparently next week's special guest judge is Flavor Flav, so that should be interesting. Moving on to Survivor, we had a tribe mix-up. Jeff told everyone drop your buffs, and they drew new ones. Whichever color their buff was their new tribe. On Uli, we have Nate, Christina, Alex, and Sophie. On Kella, we have Steven, Shannon, Sage, and Jawan. And now on Hina, we have MC, Sophie, Rizzo, and Savannah. Right before the first food reward challenge, Christina suddenly sat down, struggling with her breathing. Medical rushed in, and while she was eventually okay, she later admitted the stress of the game combined with missing her family had gotten to her. Also, before they started, Alex was like, oh, we had a chicken dinner. And Savannah was just rolling her eyes. She was not having it. The first and second tribes were awarded prizes. Hina took first place, and they got a feast of grilled cheese sandwiches, potato chips, iced tea, and chocolate brownies. An amazing reward, especially for Sophie, who has finally eaten because she hasn't eaten in like 11 days. Uli secured second place, and they were rewarded with grilled cheese sandwiches. I'm just going to read the notes that I wrote down while I was watching. So for the new Uli tribe, Nate knows he's at the bottom and desperately tries to pitch to the old Hina members that he was actually working with Jason. Sophie is not buying it. She flat out stated, Nate is just telling me what I want to hear. He's not ready to turn on Uli. I don't trust him. If we end up at tribal, Nate is going home. To make matters worse, Sophie is nervous because Christina is pitching her name as a decoy to Nate. Christina and Nate are seemingly the main targets. On Kella, Sage is not happy to be stuck on a tribe with Shannon again. Meanwhile, Steven and Jawan are bonding, but Steven is on the outs. And this is kind of the same thing we saw with Jawan and Jason. They definitely could have worked together, but Jason was also on the outs. I kind of wish Jawan had tried to make a move and tried to save Jason last episode, but it would have been so risky. Shannon claims she has lucky girl syndrome. Sage sees right through it, calling Shannon sneaky and disingenuous, but trying to hide it under a front of authenticity. I wrote down Sage is hilarious because the facial expressions she makes behind Shannon's back is so funny. Every time she did it, I was like, oh my god, she better stop. She's gonna get caught. Over on Hina, MC is feeling vulnerable but confides in Rizzo that Sage exposed his idol to the tribe. Rizzo, Sophie, and Savannah are busy scouring the beach for the advantage. Sophie finds a secret advantage and keeps it completely to herself. It's the knowledge is power advantage, allowing her to ask another player at tribal council if they have an advantage. The tribes faced off for immunity. Hina took first place. They're safe. Uli wins second place. They're safe. Kele comes in last, sending them to tribal council. Okay, so here are my notes for Kele leading up to tribal council. Shannon tries to reassure Jawan that the plan is a solid 3-person vote with him and Sage. Shannon then turns around and tells Steven they need to vote out Jawan. Steven felt he had no choice but to go along with Shannon's plan. Sage is making Shannon feel completely comfortable, but the truth is, Sage wants Shannon out. Sage pulls in Jawan, tells him that Shannon is targeting him, and gets Jawan on board to vote Shannon out. At tribal council, as the votes were read, you can absolutely tell that Shannon thought she was 100% safe. With 3 votes for Shannon and 1 vote for Jawan, Shannon was voted out. Sage pulled that off flawlessly. Also, how awkward was it when Shannon wanted to give everyone a hug and Sage was like, no. So now wrapping up with the amazing race, the teams kicked off this leg with a self-drive to Tristano, I think that's how you say it, Tristano, Croatia. So these are my notes I took down throughout the race. Jazz and Jag said they've been getting the cold shoulder from Izzy and they took a shot at them before they did. This was in reference to you turning Izzy and Paige in the last episode. Tucker and Eric think Kyland and Taylor have a target out for them. Paige wants to run into Jag and Jazz to show them they're still there from being U-turned. Jag and Jazz having trouble with driving stick shift and having to push their car. Chelsea and her dad seem lost most of the time. Izzy said she wants to rip Jag and Jazz's head off and yell at them. Stephanie and Adam helped each other during a roadblock. #Team Trainwreck. During the roadblock, Izzy asked Jack to work together and he said, nah, I'm good. Which I found funny because at one point when they were looking for the clue box, they didn't want Chelsea and Jack to see that they found it. So Izzy was like hiding the clue. But then you go and ask Jack to work together. Also, I'm so over Izzy's hatred for Jazz and Jag. Rubina's glasses fell in the ocean. Towards the end of the race, Stephanie and Adam were finishing the roadblock while trying to get directions to the pit stop. Either Joseph or Adam tells Natalie, like, oh, wait for us or drive back to us and we'll drive to the pit stop together. And Natalie was like, okay. And on the way back to the car, Stephanie was so mad. She was like, why would you tell them that? We're not going to wait for them. Tucker and Eric pretty much dominated the race, arriving first to the pit stop and winning a trip or 2 to Cairo, Egypt. If you want to see the full order and what place everybody came, I'll put the link in the description. I post a quick recap that I do during the week after the episode and you can see it there. And sigh, Rubina and Christine in last place and eliminated, which I'm so sad about because they were one of my favorite teams. And that's it for reality competition shows. As far as other shows I watched, OMG, stop what you're doing right now and watch Welcome to Derry. The first episode premiered last Sunday and it is a must-see for horror fans. As a prequel to Stephen King's It immediately sets a chilling, phenomenal tone. If you like scary stuff, trust me, you need to check this out. Let me know your favorite moment from the week in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate so much if you could subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so you're always notified whenever I upload. And I'll see you next time.